All right, welcome to episode 3 of Film. In the year 2000, Ridley Scott gave new life to the long-dormant sword and sandals genre with the epic box office and critical smash hit Gladiator. Featuring career-defining performances from both Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix, Gladiator would also win the Oscar for Best Picture as well as the Golden Globe for Best Drama, infamously awarded by a very drunk Elizabeth Taylor.
Gladiator!
It's hilarious. Crowe plays Maximus Decimus Meridius, a Roman general who makes mincemeat out of barbarian tribes and who has slowly become more of a son to Emperor Marcus Aurelius, Richard Harris, than the Emperor's actual son, Commodus, played by Phoenix, the most evil fucker ever. Commodus has the hots for his sister and wants to abolish the Senate, essentially turning Rome into a dictatorship. Message. When the dying emperor tells Count Commodus that he plans on handing the reins over to Maximus, an enraged and super emo Commodore kills him and orders Maximus and his family to be killed. Maximus escapes his fate and makes it home to his family, only to find them slain. They killed his family. He collapses. He's injured. He gets taken to Africa as a slave, where he's purchased by Oliver Reed, who we'll talk about later. He's an old gladiator himself. Now he's in North Africa. He's getting trained to be a gladiator. He doesn't need training. He's the man. He's already got training. He's the Spaniard, And Maximus quickly rises through the ranks before making his way to Rome to fight in the Colosseum and get an audience with Commodus, whom he plans to get his revenge on. There's more gladiator stuff and a thwarted attempt to rescue Maximus on the part of Commodus' sister. Commodus asks to fight Maximus. Ultimately, he wants to take on Maximus in the Colosseum, but the fix is in. He stabs him, so he's wounded going in. But LOL, Maximus wins, and he wins anyway, and he kills Commodus. They both die. Rome is a democracy again until it soon collapses, of course. And Maximus gets to be with his family in heaven. I mean, Elysium. Hi, I'm Walter Ling, and this is Film is Dead. Please welcome now the co-hosts of this great film podcast. Our local researcher in chief, Reese Turner. Everybody.
Hey, everybody, what's going on?
And our resident Roman, Chris Vendito.
This fucking guy. How you doing?
Bro, your family's from Rome, though, no?
No, not even close.
Just close to Rome, just outside of Rome.
Just outside of Rome, then a bit more outside of Rome.
Remember when I was like, before it became popular to say that you were from like southern Italy or Sicily, all these fucking kids I grew up with, it's close to Rome. My family's close to Rome. Like, bullshit. How's it going, boys? How you guys doing?
Wonderful, buddy. How are you?
Great. This was Chris Vendito's choice. This was Chris. Yeah. We've done a full round of movies now. We've each gotten a choice in. For some reason, my choice could have also been Chris's choice. I don't know. In retrospect, my only problem with my choice was that it could have also been Chris's choice.
Yeah, it was not a uniquely Walter pick.
Yeah. So anyway, so
he suggested it though.
It's been a good first round for Chris here, and finishes off with the huge epic Gladiator. Budget of $103 million, which is a huge fucking budget. Crazy. But I think that's like Titanic money,
Yeah, which is just a fraction of our budget that we had on the opening of tonight.
Just a fraction, yeah. And box office, $460.5 million.
Smash.
460. So that's like the only time that's the only kind of like box office take that legitimizes $103 million budget.
Yeah, if you triple the budget, yeah, you're right. That's the only way you can legitimize a budget that size is if you triple it.
What's funny is that's like a mid-major summer blockbuster budget now.
Yeah, every movie has every big movie has, but that's why
Every marginal movie is like 80-90 million dollars now. So
well, this is 2000 first of all, so you didn't have like a shit ton of movies every year with $100 million budget. I think it's really
exactly.
Titanic that started that trend of movies having like $100 million, and I think there was like a philosophy that if you spent $100 million on a fucking movie, that you would make a lot of money back.
At least $100 million, hopefully.
But I was talking to my sister about movies like this movie Cutthroat Island, which was, I don't know if you remember this, Reese,
with Gina Davis.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, Chris. It was like this fucking pirate movie in the 90s and shit, years maybe 5-6 years, 7-8 years before the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. This is a pirate movie, and it had $100 million budget, and it died a death. It died a death, and it killed that studio that put it out. It actually bankrupted that studio. So
was it a Francis Ford Coppola studio?
No. But no, it was anyway. The point is you put out $100 million movie is a bit of a gamble there.
It's a bit of a gamble. This one was an Oscar winner.
And doing research for this movie, yes, of course, it won the Oscar for Best Picture and the Golden Globe. And fucking Russell Crowe, I just found this out. There's a bunch of interviews where Russell Crowe's yeah, and it was crazy, because me and what's the director's name?
Ridley Scott.
He's like, me and Ridley only had 21 pages of the script written going in. 21 pages of this script. For a $103 million movie, they had 21 pages of finished script at the start of production.
Well, they had a finished script. The script was finished. They had a writer. It was finished, just not to Russell Crowe's liking. In my research of
You're blaming this all on Crowe?
In my research of the film, I keep reading stories about how problematic Russell Crowe was on set and how he would repeatedly try on set to change while it was happening.
Now, was he not a producer of this movie?
I don't know if he was a producer. No,
I think he was.
He wasn't. He didn't have enough fucking juice yet.
But the way he talks about it, and I got to look into this more, but the way he talks about it, it was basically him and fucking Ridley Scott arm in arm, skipping about, working on Gladiator. And he's like, we only had 21 pages of the script. He's like, wow, we really dodged a bullet. Not only did the movie turn out okay, but we won Best Picture. Doobie-doo.
It's crazy. He said in a few things, it's I read an interview with the writer, and the writer was just Russell would just constantly say that my lines were garbage. Just no, and then he'd put something in, and then he'd be like this. See, even I could make garbage good. You know what I mean? Russell Crowe was a legit piece of shit during this movie.
Hey, it worked. Whatever Russell Crowe did on this movie, in the making of this movie, the run up in the production, it worked. It worked.
Russ also claims that he came up with some of the very iconic lines of this movie on his own, and we'll revisit this later. I believe Chris has a quote segment for us coming up later.
Yes, Chris does.
But yeah, Russell, he's like, yeah, he's like, some of the greatest stuff in this movie was just me and Ridley hanging out, me just spitballing, putting stuff out there.
This is crazy because according to the page right now, it has 3 writers: David Franzoni, John Logan, and William Nicholson are the writers.
No, it was all Ridley and Russell.
Yeah. Russell Crowe is not a producer on this picture. This film was co-produced and released by DreamWorks Pictures and Universal.
Hey, you know what? Did he not win
Best Actor? Did he not win Best Actor for this?
He also won Best Asshole. Yeah, both. He won both.
So did he win Best Actor?
Yeah, he won Best Actor. Yeah,
at the Oscars.
Yeah, it's impeachable. And whatever he did, listen. I'll give you a sports analogy.
No,
we all watched The Last Dance. We all enjoyed it. Walter more than others.
Loved it.
Michael Jordan's last season. The whole thing was falling apart. Everything around him sucked. He was an asshole. Got it done.
Yeah, not Russell. The producers of this film: Douglas Wick, David Franzoni, and Branko Lustig.
Nobody remembers them 20 years later. How far did you have to dig? You have to go to the Wikipedia page to find it. You couldn't even find it on an article.
Yeah. But that's like literally just one search though. I found it on the
Yeah,
very first
still-
search. It wasn't Russell Crowe, I'll tell you that much.
They're
He
not
acted his
memorable.
little butt off, but he was not
Ridley
a
Scott.
producer.
I want to ask you, Reese, before we go to your thoughts on the film. I want to ask you both. Is Joaquin Phoenix in this movie Commodus the very first QAnon member?
Jesus, QAnon.
What did you say?
Is he the first QAnon member?
Commodus,
like-
the first QAnon member? Why?
Is Commodus like the image that like Alex Jones, Steve Bannon, and every crazy nut job on the internet model their perfect leader off of?
Somebody who murdered their own father.
Yeah.
So we had Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe as Maximus.
Oliver Reed as
Meridius.
Oliver Reed.
Hold on, buddy. Hold on, buddy. Hold on, buddy.
That's what you said during the open. Oliver Reed played Oliver Reed in this movie.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, I didn't mean to say, but that is right. We got Joaquin Phoenix as Commodus, Connie Nelson as Lucilla. There, his sister that he's at the hospital for. Who the hell is Connie Nelson? Has anybody
Connie
seen her in
Nielsen.
anything?
I can swear that she looks the exact same as the lady in The Office.
Oliver Reed as Proximo, an old gruff gladiator trainer who buys Maximus in North Africa. Oliver Reed is a fucking legend. He's
Great in this movie too.
Him and Richard Harris are both like. I mean, these are the men of Reese's ilk here.
Yeah.
Like fucking old British booze hounds. Yeah, like a dead breed of like fucking just degenerate British fucking alcoholic actors. More on Oliver Reed later. Derek Jacobi as Senator Gracchus. Digimon Hunsu as Juba. And is this the first time that we got to see Digimon in something?
This is the first time I saw him in anything.
Yeah, I think this is like his breakout role because like he was in a bunch of shit after this. More cast highlights.
Connie Nielsen, by the way, was in Wonder Woman, Justice League. She's done some other stuff.
Law and Order, SVU, and shit.
Richard Harris as Marcus Aurelius, another old British drinker.
That's it.
So and then there's that big Jack German dude.
Yeah, fucking that dude is amazing.
Ralph Moeller. He's this big German. He was a bodybuilder. I looked that up. And Tommy Flanagan, Scarry McScarface
from Sons of Anarchy.
He's in a bunch of shit as Cicero. Maximus is like that guy got the fucking what's it called? The Glasgow smile.
Yeah, the Glasgow.
And he is Scottish, by the way. That actor,
that guy, I always thought that was just for Sons. And then on this rewatch,
that is that guy's face.
I have an embarrassing admission. On this rewatch, it clicked that holy shit, he always has that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I guess it's worth mentioning. So that's the cast. And yes,
it looks great, by the way. I'm just saying. So
getting back to Oliver Reed, he died during the production of this movie.
Yeah. You could tell. You could tell at the end of the movie that he's dead in the last scene.
They propped up his dead body when they stabbed him a bunch. They wheeled out his corpse for when they stabbed the shit out of him.
I'll say this. We'll talk about Oliver Reed here off the top.
I'm going to read a couple paragraphs
off
on
the
exactly
top.
how
We're 20 minutes in, buddy.
I know we're still off the top. Walter still has the phone out.
Because I got my notes, bro. This is my notes this week. I didn't print my notes. I got my notes on my phone. Trying to save a fucking tree, bro. Okay.
Oof.
Right.
Oof.
Oh, spicy with the blunty.
Yeah, I like it.
Oliver Reed was dying, like Walter said, and he was never supposed to die in the movie. His character Proximo wasn't supposed to die.
He's a big movie. He's in this movie more than I remembered.
And so they had to do a different ending.
They really worked around it. It still worked.
And his death scene, you could first of all, for most of the last shot, you could tell it's the back of the whoever's standing in his place, and then it's a clear image of Oliver Reed in younger days in another movie.
Oh yeah,
almost. If you look at the scene, it's not great.
They spliced in old footage of Oliver.
But they Irishmaned him up. They spliced in old footage. He's dead already, so it's not Oliver Reed.
It's from footage from the movie. It's just,
it looks like it's from a different era.
Yeah, well, that's because the lighting's different and all that stuff. But
so was Oliver Reed in the Ten Commandments?
Oliver Reed was an Oliver Twist.
It looks like he was on.
Yeah, he was the Fagin. He was the one who beats the shit out of these little orphan boys.
That checks out.
Yeah.
All right. So, side note on the gory details surrounding the death of Oliver Reed. Again, notorious
Lothario.
Just drunken lout. Really quick, another story. One of my favorite stories about Oliver Reed is he had a fucking spade, like from a deck of cards, like a spade, tattooed on the head of his dick, and like for any occasion would whip out his fucking dick to show people that he had a fucking tattoo on the head of his cock.
The ace of spades.
Yeah. And Louis C.K. apparently was a big Oliver Reed fan.
No. This wasn't like Oliver. This wasn't like Louis C.K. like mamby-pamby bullshit. Like, oh,
you pull it out soft.
Like, I'm gonna jerk off in front of two women in a hotel room. This is a guy like in a bar being like, "Everybody, look at my cock now."
It's a completely different level of degenerate.
It's completely different.
Still degenerate,
and it wasn't sexual. It wasn't sexual. Okay. Reed died from a heart attack during a break from filming Gladiator in Valletta, Malta on the afternoon of 2 May 1999. According to witnesses, he drank 8 pints of German lager, a dozen shots of rum, half a bottle of whiskey, and a few shots of Hennessy cognac.
What?
In a drinking match.
Do it again.
No, I'm not doing it again. In a drinking match against a group of sailors on shore leave from HMS Cumberland at a local pub. His bar beer totaled a little over $590, and this is again in 2000 in Malta. After beating 5 much younger Royal Navy sailors at arm wrestling, Reed suddenly collapsed, dying while en route to hospital in an ambulance. He was 61 years old. The actor Omid Djalali, who was also in Malta at the same time of Reed's death filming Gladiator, said during a 2016 interview he hadn't drank for months before filming started. Everyone said he went the way he wanted. Sober, but that's not true. It was very tragic. He was in an Irish bar, was pressured into a drinking competition. He should have just left, but he didn't. Having made a number of promises to Ridley Scott prior to filming, including that he would not drink during production, Reed worked around this, only drinking on weekends. Co-star David Hemmings was a longtime friend of Reed's, and in 2020, Scott stated, David Hemmings who played Cassius, promised to look after him, and said to me upon his death, "I'm really sorry, old boy."
Good. That's a good story.
The death of Oliver Reed.
Did you want to do that whole bit just to get to the last line there?
I'm dreadfully sorry, old chap.
Dreadfully sorry, old boy.
It seems he's kicked the bucket.
I was supposed to be looking after Oliver, but I wasn't.
When was the first time you watched this movie?
In the theaters during its original run. It was the last movie I saw at Erin Mills Town Center's movie theater in Mississauga.
Literally everybody saw this movie in theaters.
Yeah, everybody. This is one of those movies you had to. And the first time you saw the Coliseum on
I did not see it in theaters, by the way.
I'm not even sure if I did, actually.
Oh, I did.
I was too young.
Okay, yeah, because it was rated R.
It was rated R. I was 10 years old when it came out, so that wasn't going to happen.
I was in high school.
14. Yeah, I was 14.
You were 14, really? Wait,
84.
2000. No, you're like
16.
You're like what? 6? Yeah, because I was
16.
I was 14. But like,
that makes more sense that you were able to get through it, get in a theater to watch it.
Yeah, I was a big guy, and I went in a group. It was like a double
were
date.
You?
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Like, and the scene where like Russell Crowe's, like I was high as fuck, and when Russell Crowe's whole family gets mowed down, this is a super sad scene. But when his kid going,
it's the funniest.
Yeah, I laughed
thing.
Papa, horses.
He runs right up to the fucking. And at what point does it click in this kid's head that something?
When he sees all the horses. When he sees all the horses,
he's like, they're coming so close, and it's like, and they just mow him down, and you see it, and you see and it's like a dummy or some shit, but you see it get mowed down, and I watch it, I'm like, this is hilarious.
We were in the theater.
Supposed to be hilarious.
No, we were in the theater, and there was 4 of us. And
practical effects.
All of us died laughing. We just died. Great. And it was like it was a full theater. And people are looking at us like we're monsters. It's like
it's fucking hilarious. I don't care.
It was so funny.
They shouldn't have shown the kid actually getting run down by the thing.
No, they should have just kept it on the mom.
Yeah.
It was
Right?
implied.
They
It
should
was
have saw
implied.
him. Yeah, they should have shown him running towards the
Yeah.
horses, and then just keep it on the
that
mother.
extra shot of the
Yeah.
kid actually getting mowed down is too much. Like,
It's not even that big of a
I know.
nitpick. It's a very fair thing to say.
because it ends up being funny. I'm sorry. Like, I'm with Reese. I thought that was fucking hilarious.
There's just like a few.
Although
okay,
on
listen.
the flip, when he finds his wife and child, and
Yeah, but that's
the
just
emotion-
heavy-handed melodrama. Like
The emotion. No, I'm saying it's a great Russell Crowe scene
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he's just like you
He
feel
puts
it in
like the
that
burnt
moment.
foot on his face, which is kind of gross. And
So one scene that really kind of fucked with me with Marcus, I guess, was when he's like, he tells his son when he's all frail and shit, and he's just like this. Oh, by the way, you're not gonna be Caesar.
Not
It's gonna be this dude who was plowing your sister a few years ago. No, yeah, sure, I'll hug your face with my. Oh, there we go. Now I'm
it's
dead.
like Chris. It's like the scene in Godfather 3. He's
So
like, I got a
bad.
secret to tell you.
Honestly, that scene was fucking. That whole scene was just horrible.
Yeah,
But Joaquin Phoenix is so good, and I love that he has this like heart wrenching like monologue about what it's like to not be able to like get the love of his father.
where you feel bad for him for a second.
For a second, you're like, oh man, that's fucking deep, man. Like he's got a
Then
fucking
no.
point.
Yeah.
And then he fucking smothers Richard Harris, who
And
sang
and that's
MacArthur's part.
and that's the least worst thing he does. Killing his own father is like at the
Is it the
bottom
least
of the
worst?
list of awful things. Yeah, it's at the bottom of the list of things to come that are terrible things.
I guess so.
Yeah, he's a piece of trash in the film.
There's like a lot of stuff in this movie that's not really as effective anymore. I don't want to say effective, or it doesn't really. It's not like
What
as
things?
jarring or is it much of like a shock to the system as it was originally, because we've seen like seasons of Game of Thrones and shit like that.
Yeah,
Which pushed a lot of this stuff so much more, like old school sword violence and shit, and like war and all that stuff. Like,
well, this
so,
kind of set the tempo
and even the
for
incest
it, I guess.
stuff, even the incest.
I was
angles.
about to say
But-
a lot of Game of Thrones you could piece together, especially the first season of Thrones. Obviously, Russell Crowe and Sean Ben's character have a lot of parallels. Sean Bean. Sorry, Sean Bean. Sean Bean. Excuse me. Sorry, the Bean family.
Mr.
I love
Bean,
beans. I
Sean
love all the
Bean.
beans. But
LL
between
Bean.
but those two guys are very similar characters, a lot of similar qualities.
I see.
No,
I remember. I thought Gladiator. I thought they were like the sister. Like I thought they like. I'm like, oh yeah, the brother and the sister are banging, but they're not. Like he just
They're
wants.
not.
He
He just wants
to
to be. He
And
just
I-
wants to
but
get
I-
his Jamie on.
I
Yeah.
think I was conflating it with like Game of Thrones. Like I just assumed they were like both in on it. I'm like, oh no, wait, that was just Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones had that, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah, so much.
But yeah, man, Gladiator laid a lot of these kind of like, what did you call it? A sword and sandal movie?
Sword and Sandal, which I got that expression from my parents.
Yeah,
They
I
said,
like it.
when they were kids, like in the '60s or whatever.
Yeah,
it was,
like Jason
movies
and the
with, like,
Argonauts.
drive-in. Yeah, like
Yeah.
fucking like drive-in. But that's kind of code for like they're almost like B movies, you know? Like
Yeah, exactly.
they're-
It's like a
they're
spaghetti
cheap.
western. It's like a spaghetti western.
yeah, they're cheap
Yeah.
movies with guys in like fucking like in like Roman costumes, like battling. Fucking.
Yeah, I love that. But yeah, it's kind of like laid and it renewed interest in that genre.
There was not a
people.
lot of
It
this
was-
at the time.
Yeah.
I was reading that it was I don't know if it steps on Reese's facts, but it was the first sword and sandals epic since the mid '60s.
Well, maybe, but maybe a fact's already been stepped on. Who knows? We don't know.
Probably
until
like
we'll see
big,
later.
probably in terms of like big ones. Yeah, that
Oh
makes
no!
sense.
Did I step on a fact?
No, but it's okay. We'll just keep going. We'll just keep going.
I stepped on a
I
fact.
think it was the Oliver Reed thing. Oh no,
Might have been the Oliver Reed thing. Who knows?
Yeah, I really
Oh,
went
we
in
stepped
detail.
on the
I shouldn't have gone into
facts.
so much detail.
It's okay. It's
Yeah,
okay.
you
but-
read a whole monologue on Oliver Reed.
It wasn't a monologue. It was Wikipedia, bro.
You had paragraphs ready.
But I love
Yeah.
it. Anyway, what else I liked is it's like I could see in good old Maximus there a little bit of a Stone Cold Steve Austin type character.
Yes.
He's just like this.
Walter was telling me this. Wasn't
Yeah, I'm not giving you any. No, you guys, fuck you kind of deal. He had that very much energy. He hates his boss. Him and his boss don't get along.
The whole thing is classic Mania booking, though. You know?
Exactly, 100%.
No, it's very a lot of wrestling stuff could be.
What I also liked was in the Gladiator circle, and then he's like, "Turn around, face me," kind of deal, and then he takes the mask, and it kind of had that the other like, "It was me,
it was me,
Austin.
Austin. It was me all
Like Proximo was Paul Heyman.
Proximo was Vince Russo.
Yes. No. Heyman. Proximo.
He's Heyman. He's Heyman.
No, because Heyman is still around. He would be Heyman.
No, the
if
guy
he lived.
you know who's Vince Russo? The guy that puts on the wig and is the announcer at the Coliseum.
No, that's Jerry Lawler.
No, that's Russo.
That's Jerry Lawler. He was all he had to do. One girl, he was yelling puppies for sure.
Speaking of Jerry Lawler, doesn't it seem like Joaquin Phoenix wants to fuck that kid?
Wow. Jesus Christ. Wow.
33 minutes, Reese. 30. What is this guy doing?
What's
What's
the
the
problem?
whole episode?
I'm talking about the
podcast.
movie. I'm talking about the movie. Since when are we not allowed to swear?
No, that's not the issue we had.
I legit wanted to talk about this plot point. How should I phrase it?
He wants to fuck the kid? No, he wants the kid to be his.
This is what I want to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about. This
way to introduce
Are we
it.
recording?
You know what I want to do? I want to talk about my childhood. So you know what we're going to talk about first? My father's death.
Wow. This is fun for me.
That's the equivalent. That's the equivalent.
No, because I'm talking about the movie.
Yeah, you see, like, Caleb, how about we just avoid
Go
all
ahead.
that?
Go ahead. Tell me how Joaquin Phoenix wants to fuck his nephew. Go ahead.
He does. Look, there's like, okay, the first time you see the two together, he's fucking sitting on the bed. He's sitting on the bed with the kid over the kid, and he's like fucking like hovering over his face, looking all fucking predatory and weird. And it's like fucking creepy as shit. And you can't tell me.
He probably had a couple pops. He had a couple pops before, you know.
This is all awful.
maybe smoked a little stuff, you know.
This is all an awful story thread. I don't like where this is going at all. Yeah, but Walter might be right.
Keep going.
No.
So and they don't. It doesn't like. But like the mom is also super scared of Joaquin Phoenix getting his hands on the kid.
Yeah.
And on the
Why do you think so? Because he's the heir to the throne.
Yeah, but there's also a precedent for these fucking like degenerate, sick Roman emperors to do fucked up shit like that.
And apparently Commodus, if you look in history, was known for his wild parties.
Yeah.
That much has been established. He wants to fuck his sister. But like his nephew,
and like,
how
much of a stretch is it? Dude, this shit went down back then a lot.
So far, it's been
stretch.
2 minutes. It's been 2 minutes that we've burned on this, just to keep you guys in the loop of how much we've burned.
Oh my god!
Let me tell you this. I'm going to jump us back right into the movie. One of the things I really like back at the first scene was when Maximus and the other general are talking. Who's his buddy there?
It's not his buddy. It's the guy who fucking.
He takes him into custody.
He sells him out.
He doesn't sell him out. Somebody else sells him out. But who is it? What's his name?
Quintus, I think.
Yeah, okay, Quintus.
So Quintus, hold on,
I think so. It is. Yeah, no, but when we first see everybody in it, and it goes over the battlefield and stuff, they're talking about like how the casualties. Oh, like the cannons are, or whatever. The things are fine where they are, and they're like, oh, aren't you worried about like possible like cavalry, like unnecessary cavalry deaths? And he's just like, nah, not really. And then you're like, what a fucking prick. But then he's like this, he just jumps on his horse and then rides to the cavalry. And you're like this, oh, fucking bad man. He's got a death wish. Look at this guy. Charles Bronson on the front.
We'll talk more about this scene when we get to
that
quotes.
guy. The guy.
I have so much I love about the first scene. I have so much.
That's the guy that's like, why don't they surrender, or wouldn't you surrender, or like, why don't they know? Why don't people know when they're defeated? Is it that guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but like, yeah, you're right, because he comes off as a dick, but then he goes like right into battle. It's like,
yeah, he like the other guy stays at the back and he just rides right in, and he's just like, let's do it. My dog.
Yeah, he goes, people should know when they're conquered, and he's like, would you, Quintus? Would I? And then he rides off.
Yeah, he's a G, bro. He's
It's
amazing.
incredible. It's an incredible that opening. It can't be overstated how incredible that opening.
It's
scene
so
is.
good. It
Yeah.
sets the tone for the whole fucking movie. You're immediately like, I'm in on this guy. Like, let's fucking go wherever he
It's
wants
so
to go.
good.
Next.
He like it puts Maximus over so hard. He goes over
so
hard.
Yeah, exactly.
Vince would kill for this type of like.
He wins the
instant
Rumble.
impact.
This is him. This is Maximus winning the Rumble.
He wins the Rumble. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it enters at number
pointing
1.
He's pointing at the sign. He's going to WrestleMania.
Am I saying no?
Okay, let's go to the quotes here. Let me talk about some of the quotes, Reese. Before we get to Reese's facts. Top 10. My top 10 quotes from the film. Number 10. Starting at number 10 is strength and honor. And
Strength and honor.
Strength and honor.
It's just said right away at the beginning. It's my favorite quote for 2 reasons. One reason it's said throughout the film, and it's a fun little part of a fun rallying cry, among others. But also, Walter, Sopranos fans.
Sopranos. So Reese, you watched all Sopranos, yeah?
Yeah, but years ago.
But there's one character specifically who was obsessed with fucking Gladiator, and it's referenced frequently. And it's hard to kind of disassociate the two now.
Yeah, but also
Ralphie Siffredi's favorite fucking Gladiator film.
Yes, the favorite movie is Gladiator. Sorry, but the reason I make the connection too is I could see why guys like Ralphie, and we've seen other people. I personally know a lot of guys. Favorite movie is Gladiator. People love this movie,
and they get overhyped about it. And
yes, and I can understand why. After rewatching The Sopranos,
because he's so over. He's so organically over.
So yeah.
Number 9.
Okay, all right. So when he gets
sometimes makes blade stick. That's when the guys are out to kill him or out to pop him.
Yeah, when the Quintus and the crew knock him out and they betray him and they take him to kill him. I don't know why they had to drive him out somewhere to kill him.
Drive him out to the Pine Barrens.
Like the mob. That's why they're so obsessed with it in The Sopranos.
Drive him out to the Pine Barrens.
They bring him out to the Pine Barrens. But fucking Maximus, he killed 10 Chechens.
He killed 10 Germanians. He killed 10 Germanians. Anyways, and then Maximus sets him up with give me a warrior's death. So the guy goes from the back,
taking a fucking sword to the back of the neck. Apparently,
warrior's death, and Maximus obviously just pops out.
It's a plan, clearly a plan.
And then the guy facing him, his blade, and this is when Maximus is already over. This is The Rock at the peak of his powers, just milking it an extra one time before he gets going. But he just the blade. Sometimes the frost face is sick. Anyways,
yeah,
great line. Reese should keep the quote so I can go back to it.
Real good.
Brother, we saw a lot of these in the trailer too because they're iconic lines in the film. But brothers, what we do in life echoes through eternity. Fantastic! What a speech! I was ready to fucking walk through a wall, not run, but walk.
But it's also don't think about the line too much. When you start to think about it, I feel like it kind of breaks down on you,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it does a little. But it's a good, it's one of those motivational speeches that in the moment,
it's a smelling salt to your ears.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of kids I went to high school with put that in their fucking yearbook. Their yearbook.
A lot of yearbook quotes.
A lot of yearbook quotes.
It's weird because mine is actually the next one that he picked.
Your favorite
my yearbook quote.
Oh, nice. On my signal, unleash hell. This fucking guy.
This one's fine.
Killing steam of a bit right here with your ridiculous.
No, I'm making it better. Keep going. Come on.
Number 6. Piece of garbage. Are you not entertained? Walter.
This is not what game. Are you not entertained? Which is at the beginning of a Jay-Z track.
Yeah, this comes way earlier than you would think on a rewatch. This happens at the beginning of the movie almost.
Good line, such a good line. Is it? And
such a good line. Today I saw a slave become more powerful than the Emperor of Rome. It's in the trailer too, but also in the speech in the movie.
Which the sister who's man, she wants that fucking Maximus dick though.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
She does. She's
Oh,
thirsty for it.
She is interested.
Oh.
Yes.
Oops, sorry.
She wants to. Anyway.
This should have been 5. The other one should have been 4 because they were in order.
Who the
But
fuck cares?
Jesus. Just a piece of garbage tonight. This guy woke up on the piece of garbage side of the bed this morning.
That's amazing.
It's a good episode. Keep going.
It's a good episode. When Joaquin Phoenix, when Commodus wants to meet the Gladiator, the Spaniard, and he goes out into the middle of the Coliseum there, and he tells him to take off his mask, and what's his name, and he goes, "I'm Gladiator," turns around, and the guy gets pissed, and then he takes off his mask and goes, "My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius."
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix should have put it together.
Honestly, I don't know how anybody. It's like fucking
ridiculous.
people didn't know who Superman was.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, glasses.
Well, he
on,
had a
glasses
mask on.
I mean, come
on.
bro. They grew up together,
Ultimate
for Christ's sake.
Father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife.
He
And I'll
watched
have
him
my
bang. He
vengeance
watched him bang his
in
sister all the
this
time.
life or the next. You know how some people do like 10 for them, 1 for you as like a rule in comedy? Walter does 5,500 for himself, none for them. I don't give a fuck about them.
Who would think this is funny? There's a problem with you because you don't think all the fucking. Anyway.
Death smiles at us all. Number 3, Death smiles at us all. All a man can do is smile back. It's said twice. It's said by Marcus at the beginning of the movie, and then right before the final fight between Commodus and Maximus. Maximus says it to Marcus.
What do you think that smile would be like? I think that smile would be like this.
I think that smile's a picture of you.
That's not. Walter's got a great smile.
Hey,
Look-
Death.
Number 2.
Number 2. This is after Maximus dies. What's her name comes out? Connie Nielsen, Lucilla. Is Rome worth one good man's life? We believed in it once. Make us believe in it again. He was a soldier of Rome. Honor him. This is a great scene. It's a great moment. You're a little emotional. You're a little emotional at this part of the movie.
It's not even a quote. It's like
yes,
a
it is.
3-page script there, for Christ's sake.
Really? You gave me 4 paragraphs and Oliver Reed. You want to talk about 10 words? You fucking monster.
2 paragraphs. Number 1.
I'll see you again, but not yet. Not yet. This is Juba at the end of the movie when he's burying the toys that Chibs brought Maximus. He was burying him in the Coliseum. Beautiful moment. Again, you're in tears a bit at this part of the movie.
It's great.
And
Nah, you're a mark, bro. That's not fucking sad at all. At this point, I was like, oh, this is fucking boy, what a fight, huh?
Top 10 quotes. Better.
What a fucking disaster. Took us 3 episodes to go right down the gutter.
No, I'm gonna throw you both out of here until you calm down.
Bro, we didn't do this top 10 quotes in the first 2 episodes, and they went much better. So let's keep it rolling here.
How am I supposed to respond to this?
I mean, like we're running through the thing. The thing went well. It was a good segment. I thought it was a good segment. You're like whining about the bit. Let's keep the thing going. Let's keep going. I thought it was good.
Okay.
Oh, you left out one of my favorite quotes, by the way, from this movie, and I think I yelled this through high school. Like after this movie came out, I just yelled this incessantly. It's the battle cry of the fucking the Germanic warriors at the beginning of that movie, where that guy's like, "Hush lebish." I was like, "Yeah."
That's the direct quote. Yeah.
He goes, "Yeah." The quote. Hush lebish. Oh.
That was hilarious. That was fun. That was a good time.
Don't you remember the guy? Remember when the guy says that?
Yes, I do. And then he that guy gets hit with arrows a bunch.
I like when they're like, I wonder what the guy's gonna come back. I wonder what answer they're gonna give, and the answer is the headless guy on the horse. That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
All right, next one. My thing. I'm going to do 5 facts about Gladiator.
One of them. This is a really good segment, actually.
Stop fucking interrupting every in and out of every fucking segment. Stop. Shut the fuck up.
What are you doing? Why are you yelling?
Here we go. The 5 facts about Gladiator. One of them is fake. Okay, I put a lot of work into this. And
One
don't
is
you guys-
fake. Only
don't you
one is
fuck
fake.
it up. Don't you guys fuck it up for me? I put a lot of work into this. And
Yeah,
I need-
Chris.
Don't fucking tell Yapabella over there. Shut the fuck up.
Yapabella, keep it quiet.
Talking
Number
about?
one, the opening shot in the wheat field was actually supposed to be the final shot of the movie. So basically, the editor got his hands on it, and when he got the footage, was just like, no, it works more as an introduction, and then it was agreed, and then it stayed in the picture. Okay, number two, baby. I think I don't actually have the number.
69 days. 69
number
days
two.
of 69.
420, 69. So Mel Gibson turned down the role of Maximus. He turned it down because he was too busy, and he was just like this. No, I'm making something right now. Fuck you. And they're like this. Ah, so
Probably worked out for the best.
He was like, I feel like he was already a little bit too old to do this at this point, though.
I don't know. He already did the movie. It was called Braveheart. Next one, number three. This is the one that was given away earlier in the program. Oliver Reed actually died during the making of this movie.
You guys want some background on that? Because I have a couple of paragraphs. Reed died from a heart
That,
attack
my
during the
friends,
break
is a
when
layup.
filming
He's a
Gladiator
layup.
and Valetta.
Reese, kick him out again.
No. Number four, real tigers were used in the tiger scene when they were fighting. The two big fucking dude bros were fighting surrounded by tigers. Those were real fucking tigers.
Yeah, they look like guys in suits.
And then Commodus, the Latin became commode, and it's what we call bathroom sometimes. It inspired it based on the actual emperor of Rome. That's where it came from.
That's
Those are my 5 facts about Gladiator, and one is fake.
So the tigers weren't real?
Tigers were real. That was real.
The tigers were real. Yeah, 100% real tigers.
So the Commodus is bullshit then.
No,
yeah,
that's
100%.
real.
No,
Okay.
100%. No, so it got you both. You both got.
I'm going to start telling people that.
Yeah, you both got.
Oh, which
on that
one's
one.
fake?
The fake one was
the commode thing.
Yeah, it's fake.
That's what I said.
Great story, though.
But you said it after the tigers thing, so you were already wrong. You don't get to keep guessing there's only 5 guesses, Chris. You can't just keep shouting out answers
Yeah, I thought
until
it was
you
a good
hit the right
segment.
one.
I thought it was a good segment.
All right.
Yes,
It's
it was a great
episode in
segment.
general.
This has
What a
been a
great
fit.
time.
Wow.
All right. Let's just.
So that was
Well-
5 facts.
Those 5 facts, Reese.
That's amazing.
Reese has to stop making the last fact.
Chris is unhappy after every segment, but it's somehow my fault.
Well, a lot of it is your fault. Yes.
No, it's not.
You're the Commodus of this podcast. Final thoughts, boys.
Oh man, this movie actually on the rewatch, I liked it. There are some things that I guess aged poorly. Just it didn't what do you want? It's of its time and it was great for its time. But like some of the action scenes when the frame rate changes and then I don't know, just some of the choices are very early 2000s. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. When it gets like when they do those little slow motion things, I know. I hear you.
Yeah.
I hated that. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, like,
What do you
Yeah.
mean slow motion things?
there's
Like, if
there's
they
a
would've-
little, Reese
If they would have
explained
filmed it
better than
now,
me.
yeah. If they would have filmed it now, there's a couple scenes in the sword fight, especially in the forest against the Germans. When they would have slowed it right down and been like, wow, and done it
Oh, I
super
see.
slow motion, but instead, because it's the year 2000,
Yeah.
they're just like this. Oh wait, we'll make it look like 1990s PSA to not do drugs, and just do that weird kind of like.
I will
Pitch forward.
say you reminded me of something we haven't talked about. That moment where he's killing all the guys in the forest, and then he shouts out for the guy on the horse to come at him. Also a great pop moment, right? Like a great wrestling moment. He's like, "Come get some," and then he fucking kills him. Like
Yeah, but he also gets like cut.
he gets dinged up, but he kills him. Walter, what's the Gladiator 2 outlook look like?
Oh, fuck. I completely forgot about Gladiator 2. Thank you for bringing up Gladiator 2, Chris. Okay, so I got to look this up. But, I've read... So it's weird. It's weird, right, that this movie never got a sequel. Like there was a lot of rip-offs, a lot of knockoffs and shit. And maybe that's part of the reason it didn't get a sequel.
It's really got a sequel. It's called Alexander. It's called Troy.
But both of the main characters died in Gladiator.
They didn't do well.
But both of the main characters died in Gladiator, though. So how are you going to make a sequel?
Well,
The
there
kid didn't die.
was talk of, I think Nick Cave, singer-songwriter Nick Cave was attached as the writer for Gladiator 2, and there was going to be some idea that the Maximus character was going to go through different time periods and be in different battles and shit.
So stupid.
So, did you guys think that Russell Crowe ever hit the same heights that he did with Gladiator?
Well, this came out before Cinderella Man was pretty popular. I don't think it was as popular.
Not like this. Not like this.
Yeah.
I don't think anything he did and he had some good roles after this. He did some good stuff. Insider, Michael Mann.
Yeah. No, I think
he
this might
did,
be
Beautiful Mind.
he did,
I think maybe Beautiful Mind was a big one.
Hey, we said after Heat. I said after Heat, right? Walter asked me who would I want casted in a Heat remake if we were to do it today, and I said Russell Crowe as the cop and Denzel Washington as Robert De Niro. That's what I said. That's the movie I want. I stand by that.
Yeah, that was anyway. Gladiator was a lot of fun. What's our next pick? Who's next on the pick
Walter's
wheel?
next. What are we watching?
Oh, was I supposed to pick a thing?
Yeah,
well, you can pick it whenever. Yeah, it's your pick.
All the other episodes that we announced with the
we did. Yeah.
Oh shit.
So
3, 2, 1. No, I don't know. 1 second. Here, I got a great idea.
I've been like I keep.
That wasn't that great of an idea. You distracted him with the countdown, so he was focused on the countdown for a couple seconds.
Can we do? You guys want to do Fear and Loathing?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I've seen it.
Chris, have you seen it?
No. First time.
There we go.
There we go.
There you go. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is the next
Terry
pick
Gilliam,
for Film is Dead.
Las Vegas.
We need Terry Gilliam. We just keep picking like
buddy, this is going to be great. Yeah, it's
gems.
Great. Thank you for joining us, everybody, on Film is Dead. When we were talking about the movie Gladiator, join us next week when we talk about what?
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
See you next week. I've been Reese Turner. That's Chris Vendito. Walter down there.
I'm gonna do acid for next week's episode. Film is dead.